What's up, fantasy managers? Welcome back to another episode of the First Pitch Podcast brought to you by PitcherList.com. My name is Jake Crumpler, and I'll be your host for this edition of the podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake Crumpler, and you can find all of my work at CrumplerBaseball.com. Let's dive into everything baseball related from Wednesday, April 16th, starting it off, as always, with the transactions, injuries, news, and notes from around the league. We'll kick things off with the injuries as third baseman Paul DeJong was placed on the 10-day IL with a fractured nose. He was hit in the face by a pitch on Tuesday. I haven't watched the video. I probably am not going to. It's probably not a pretty scene. The timetable for DeJong's return will become more clear as the swelling in his face subsides, but I read he was returned from the hospital, so that's good news. Trey Lipscomb was recalled from the minors in a corresponding move, but it looks like Ahmed Rosario is going to be playing at the hot corner for the Nationals with DeJong out. He started at third base in the first game with DeJong on the IL. It was against a lefty, and roster resource suggests that Rosario is going to be playing every day there, but I think it's likely to be a platoon with Jose Tena on the strong side and Rosario on the weak side. So that's Paul DeJong heading to the 10-day IL with a fractured nose. And our only other IL placement involves outfielder Matt Wallner, who's heading to the 10-day IL with a left hamstring strain. The severity of the strain is not yet clear. Even the IL placement is not even official. So, of course, the timeline remains uncertain. It looks like Trevor Larnach is likely to move off DH into right field, which will allow Brooks Lee to see more playing time in Minnesota as other players shift around to the DH role. In terms of transactions, second baseman Jared Triolo was activated from the 10-day IL. He's been out with a lumbar spine strain. He'll return to being the Pirates' utility man, playing all over the infield, probably a little bit of outfield as well. Sung Cha-Chang was optioned to the minors in a corresponding move, but Triolo back on the Pirates' active roster. Next, we have starting pitcher Bobby Miller, who was officially recalled from the minors by the Dodgers to make his season debut against the Rockies on Wednesday. Didn't go well. 3 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks. He induced 7 whiffs with 30% CSW across 84 pitches. And Miller had better control in this one than I expected. I talked extensively yesterday about his even strikeout to walk ratio at AAA to start this season. So I was concerned that he was going to come up and just walk the world. But only 1 walk here, 7 Ks. That's pretty nice. But he did give up back-to-back homers in the third, including a grand slam to Michael Toglia. So not great there. I think he left too many hittable pitches over the plate. He's still clearly got some potential, but it's going to take some work for the Dodgers to get Bobby Miller back on track. Next, we have starting pitcher Clark Schmidt, who was officially activated from the 15-day IL. He's been out to start the season with a shoulder injury. He made his season debut against the Royals, tossing 5 2/3 innings, allowing 4 hits and 3 earned runs. He walked 2 while striking out 2, inducing 9 whiffs with 30% CSW across 73 pitches. And Schmidt really lacked command outside of his cutter in this one, and I think that's what led to the low K total. He should be pretty decent throughout the season, probably more of a Toby than a Holly. I would like to see him take that next step, but with the slow start to the season because of the injury, and now he's sort of got to work through some of his command issues at the outset of the season, I think it's going to take a while for him to really get going. So he's going to be a Toby early on. Maybe by the end of the season, he can really start bumping up those strikeout numbers. Next, we have starting pitcher Spencer Strider, who was activated from the 15-day IL to make his season debut on Wednesday in Toronto. Strider tossed 5 innings, allowing 5 hits with 2 earned runs. He walked 1 while striking out 5, inducing 13 whiffs with 29% CSW across 97 pitches. And there's not much to say here other than Spencer Strider is back. And our last transaction involves closing pitcher, or at least former, Mike Clevinger, who was designated for assignment by the White Sox. It's always bad when the worst team in baseball is removing you from their 40-man roster, but it makes sense as Clevinger had a 7.94 ERA and a 9.7% strikeout rate to a 25.8% walk rate. So really not great there for Clevinger. Handed the closer role, couldn't do anything with it. We have not seen any team saves by the White Sox so far this season, so it's really unclear who's going to be the closer moving forward. Roster resource suggests Jordan Leisure. That's probably the most likely candidate, but Rick Graham and I will talk more about it tomorrow night on the In the Pen podcast. So make sure to tune into that live Thursday night or via any podcast app on Friday. And in terms of news, starting pitcher Emerson Hancock is expected to be recalled from the minors on Thursday to start in Cincinnati. It's a no thanks from me. Hancock isn't too special of a starting pitcher in terms of strikeout numbers. He's more of a Toby, even though his age suggests he should be more than that, somebody with more potential. But in Cincinnati, I'm not taking the chance. Hancock's likely to stick in the rotation for the Mariners until George Kirby returns from the IL. That's probably not going to be for another few weeks. So Hancock will stick in the rotation for a little while. And lastly, catcher Edgar Caro is expected to be promoted on Thursday by the White Sox. He's the number 6 White Sox prospect and the number 62 prospect in baseball, according to MLB Pipeline. Between AA and AAA last year, Caro batted .280 with 16 homers and 139 WRC+. So he's got a pretty good bat. I don't see why he wouldn't get everyday playing time in Chicago with, I think it's Matt Thaiss and probably like Corey Lee or Carlos Narvaez there behind the plate on the south side of Chicago. So I don't see why Caro wouldn't take over everyday duties behind the plate there. And I think he could also see some time at DH. So he's probably worth a look in deep leagues, especially 2-catcher, 15-team leagues. Caro should be rostered. Now we'll check out the notable performances from Wednesday, a day in which we had a full slate of 15 games. We'll start it off with our hitters, leading off with Jackson Holliday, who helped the Orioles to a win versus the Guardians, going 1 for 4 with a run, a home run, and 4 runs batted in. It was his second home run of the year, and it traveled 396 feet at 104 miles per hour. Holiday's gotten off to a much better start this year, and he really didn't have to do much to do better than he did last year, but he's still not looking like the stud that he was promised to be, batting just .216 with a .623 OPS. It's probably going to take a while for us to see the real finished product of Holiday. He's hit too many ground balls. He's pulled too few batted balls. He's got a low barrel rate. He's been impatient at the plate, super low walk rate, 25% strikeout rate. But of course, he was the number 1 prospect for a reason. So he's got plenty of potential. I think we'll see Holiday take off at some point. It may not be this year, but there will be a season where Holiday is an all-star. Next, we have DH Pavin Smith, who helped the Diamondbacks to win in Miami, going 2 for 4 with a run, a home run, and an RBI. It was his second home run of the year, and it traveled 429 feet at 109 miles per hour. And Pavin Smith is pretty interesting. He's been batting third on the strong side of a DH platoon in Arizona, batting .386 with an 1119 OPS to start the season. But you will not believe what his BABIP is through 17 games. Pavin Smith has a 600 BABIP through the first 17 games of the season. Obviously, that's going to come down to earth, and so will his batting average and OPS numbers. But that doesn't mean Smith won't be worth rostering in deeper formats. He could belt 20 homers with a decent batting average. He's got a 20% barrel rate this year. He was at 14% last year. So the power is somewhat legit, especially facing just right-handed pitching. And if he brings his 30% strikeout rate down to his career rate, which is usually around 20%, he should have much more success moving forward. And batting third in that lineup gives him plenty of run-producing opportunities. So I think Pavin Smith definitely a target in 15-team leagues, probably not in standard leagues because that BABIP is so high. He's going to come back down to earth and probably not going to be worth your time there. But definitely in deeper leagues, Pavin Smith should be worth your time. And lastly, we have outfielder Sal Frelick, who helped the Brewers to a win versus the Tigers, going 2 for 4 with 2 runs, a home run, and an RBI. It was his first home run of the year. It traveled 408 feet at 101 miles per hour. Sal Frelick getting off to a hot start as well, batting .318 with an .863 OPS, and he's batting 5th every day. Obviously, you're not going to get much power from Sal Frelick. I know we got a home run here, but that's why it's notable. He's got great contact skills, but he needs to be more selective to tap into them. He's been doing that more this year. I think he's nearly doubled his walk rate right now. So that's really good because it's going to give him more opportunities to get on base and steal. Last year, he had fewer than 20 steals. Right now on pace for around 30. So we could see a better season from Sal Frelick, especially if that batting average comes up as he plays more into his contact by being more selective at the plate. I think he's a great option in points leagues because he doesn't strike out, and in 15-team leagues because he plays every single day, and he's got speed to back up that batting average, so it's not just empty batting average there from Sal Frelick. But if you'd like a breakdown of other notable hitting performances from Wednesday, check out the daily Batters Box article over on PitcherList.com. Now we'll head to the mound and check out some notable starting pitching performances, opening with Bailey Falter, who helped the Pirates to a win versus the Nationals, tossing 7 scoreless innings, allowing just 2 hits and 1 walk while striking out 2. He induced 4 whiffs, was 24% CSW across 83 pitches, and he had unreal location versus right-handed batters. And that's in a bad way. Falter threw his pitches down the middle like a line. It was ridiculous. Just seemed like he just really wanted them to hit the ball. And then he nibbled against lefties, completely avoiding the middle of the zone, and still found success with 7 scoreless innings here. The sinker was a big part of that one, returning 9 called strikes for 28% CSW. So that's pretty lucky. And he got a pair of slider whiffs against left-handed batters, but clearly unsustainable here from Bailey Falter as he relied heavily on sinker called strikes and balls in play. Falter can be a Toby against bad lineups. His fastball is pretty decent. He's got great extension, 7.3 feet of extension there for Bailey Falter, but the Pirates haven't gotten the most of it. So we're not going to see him really take off. He's going to be a Toby moving forward. Like I said, he gets the Angels next in Anaheim. I think that can work. It's not a super scary lineup, and Falter showed he can make it work against the Nationals. So I think I might trust that one as a stream. Next, we have Mitchell Parker on the opposite side of Falter, as he did all he could, but the Nationals lost in Pittsburgh. Parker went 6 innings, allowing 4 hits and 1 run. With 1 walk and 6 strikeouts, he induced 12 whiffs, 24% CSW across 89 pitches. Parker faced a right-handed heavy lineup, and he threw lots of splitters to make up for it, inducing 5 whiffs with 26% CSW, while his curve stepped up big time for 4 whiffs and 39% CSW to make up for his heater, which returned just 14% CSW, but it got him a lot of outs. It's been a great start to the season for Mitchell Parker. He's got a 1.85 ERA and a 1.11 whip through his first 4 starts, but I don't think he's someone you can trust against legit lineups. He's got a pretty easy schedule to start the season. Next, though, he gets the Orioles, so I don't think I'm starting Parker there. I think in standard leagues, you can drop him and hope to pick him back up for his next start. And lastly, we have David Festa, who helped the Twins to a win versus the Mets, tossing 4 1/3 scoreless innings, allowing just 5 hits and 1 walk while striking out 6. He induced 9 whiffs with 25% CSW across 76 pitches. Festa has a great fastball. It's got great extension, good shape, and mid-90s velocity, but in this one, it returned no whiffs and 11% CSW. Really unfortunate there and sort of unlucky. He also had just 61% strike rate on the pitch, and most of those were down the middle, and somehow he still got away with this one. I think it's because the slider made up for it with 69% strikes, 6 whiffs, and 42% CSW. Festa's slider was cooking, and then his change chipped in with 3 whiffs as well. I really like Festa's arsenal. It feels like he's got tools to take down both lefties and righties with the changeup and the slider, and I feel like that fastball is going to play up much better moving forward if he can locate it better. 0 whiffs and 11% CSW with the fastball that Festa has feels just totally unfair. So I think he's going to have more success moving forward. However, he's clearly unpolished, doesn't have quite the command that you need to be an ace at this point. He's got potential in the future. That being said, he's got a 0 ERA through his first 2 starts of the season, and he gets the White Sox next. So I think I'm picking up Festa everywhere for that start. But if you'd like a breakdown of every single start from Wednesday, give the Plus Pitch podcast a listen and check out Nick's daily SP roundup over on PitcherList.com. Now we'll head to the bullpen and check out the relievers that got saves and the closers that pitched outside of save situations or blew their saves. Starting with the former, Robert Suarez recorded his 8th and MLB leading 8th save with a perfect 9th. Mason Miller struck out the side in order to record his 5th save of the season. Jeff Hoffman worked around a solo shot to record his 4th save. Ryan Helsley pitched a hitless 9th for his 3rd save. Andres Munoz recorded his 7th save with a perfect 9th. Justin Slayton recorded his 2nd save with a perfect 9th, as Aroldis Chapman had pitched in 3 of the past 4 days. Fernando Cruz recorded his 1st save of the season, pitching a scoreless 8th and 9th for the Yankees, as Devin Williams had pitched on back-to-back days and in 3 of the past 4. Luke Jackson recorded his 6th save with a perfect 9th. And lastly, Tanner Scott recorded his 6th save with a scoreless 9th of his own. In terms of closers to pitch outside of save situations or below their saves, Yohan Duran pitched a hitless 9th in a tie game for the Twins. The Twins would go on to win that game in 10 innings. On the opposite side of that one, Edwin Diaz pitched a hitless 9th in a tie game, the Mets would go on to lose, obviously, that one in 10 innings. AJ Puck pitched the 8th up by 5 for the D-backs against the 3-4-5 hitters. The D-backs put on 2 insurance runs in the top half of that inning, so he was due to come in and face a 3-4-5 up by 3, which makes sense. Puck allowed a run, and then Justin Martinez ended up pitching the 9th. He was perfect in that one. And lastly, Trevor McGill pitched a scoreless 9th up by 4 for the Brewers. But if you'd like a breakdown of more relief pitchers, check out Rick Graham's weekly articles over on pitcherlist.com. And as I mentioned, tune in to In the Pen Thursday night and listen recorded on Friday. And before we look forward to today's games, we're going to take a quick break. Now look forward to Thursday, April 17th, a day in which we'll have just 10 games on the slate. My matchup of the day is Christopher Sanchez versus Jordan Hicks. Both of these guys have incredible sinkers that they throw in the upper 90s. It should be pretty fun to watch outside of just my Giants playing. It should be a good pitching matchup. In terms of probable starters, we got 3 guys in our auto starts tier, including Sanchez. We've also got Brian Wu in Cincinnati and Tanner Bybee in Baltimore. In our probably starts tier, we've got 6 guys, and that's where we'll find our streamer of the day in Will Warren in Tampa Bay. Nick likes him because he displayed a new fastball last time out with better horizontal or height-adjusted vertical approach angle. So I think Warren could be somebody that finds success here if that fastball sticks and has the success it had in his last start. I'd also keep an eye out for Eduardo Rodriguez as he takes on the Marlins in Miami. He's a Toby, and so this is a pretty safe start for me against this terrible lineup, but he did show a ceiling that you don't really see from Erod all the time. He struck out 12 2 starts ago, so maybe he can display that ceiling again in this one against the Marlins. In terms of hitter suggestions, I'd go for Angels hitters against Kumar Rocker. He's really struggled to start the season. He's got absolutely no control. Angels hitters will take advantage of that. I'd also go for Pirates hitters versus Trevor Williams. He is Trevor Williams. He's not one of the best pitchers in baseball. I think the Pirates should be able to pounce on him on Thursday. And I will close things out with our relievers to watch. Yohan Duran has pitched on back-to-back days and in 4 of the past 5. But Griffin Jax has also been used a lot recently, so maybe we see one of the other guys in that bullpen get a save, maybe Louis Varland, Danny Coulomb, or maybe Jorge Alcala. Luke Jackson has pitched in back-to-back days, so maybe Chris Martin or Robert Garcia could get a save for the Rangers on Thursday. And lastly, Robert Suarez has pitched on back-to-back days for the Padres, and with Jeremiah Estrada having also pitched on back-to-back days, we'll see Jason Adam likely in the 9th for the Padres on Thursday. But that'll do it for today's episode of the First Pitch Podcast. Make sure to head on over to pitcherlist.com to check out all of the great articles and features we have on the site. Sign up for PL Plus or PL Pro to gain access to the Discord and to support the Pitcher List staff. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake Crumpler. Tune in live on YouTube tomorrow and every day for a new installment of the podcast. Trevor Huth will be with you tomorrow and throughout the weekend. And make sure to enjoy the day as we are blessed with another day of baseball.